So what grit is this?
This is 120.
120.
So it's just a little coarser.
Mm-hmm.
The concept of sharpening is always the same no matter which way you're doing it. All right. So what we're going to do here, let's see your knife. We're going to go up here to the top of the belt. So you're going to hold your knife at just kind of a slight angle like this right here. You're going to drag it across on one side. You're going to flip it over to the opposite side, trying to maintain the same kind of angle, and do the same thing on the opposite side as well. Okay. So sharpening is about the angle that you sharpen it at, and just trying to consistently keep it that way the whole time.
On both sides.
So here's what we're looking for. So right now there is no edge; it's just thin. So this is going to create the edge for us, the first belt. So this is going to grind both sides until they connect. Once they connect, it will create what's called a burr. It goes all the way across the edge. All right, so that burr is a visual. You can see it, and I'll point it out to you, but that just lets you know that they've connected.
Okay.
From there, we're going to start going up through finer belts. So that's where we're going to go to a 220 grit belt and then a 400 grit belt, which are both going to essentially start to polish.
Okay.
So as it polishes the edge, what's happening is that burr that's connected to it is progressively getting weaker and weaker. It gets really fragile. So we polish it even more by using the buffing wheel over there. That burr gets really, really weak, and it literally just falls off. Once it falls off, you have access now to the edge. So what you'll notice, one thing is as we do this, that knife really never feels all that sharp, all the way to the very last episode. Okay. So we're making a burr, and we're just going through the steps to get rid of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
That is sharp.
Okay.
I got this tool I run it through and it creates the burr and then you change it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's all sorts of different methods. That's all. So before we do this right here, a couple things is before you set your knife on the belt, I'll let you know if you need to adjust this angle or not.
Okay.
So this would be a higher angle. This would be a lower angle. Once you find that, you're going to just sit the knife on top of it. You can just put a little pressure onto it, not very much. Drag that right on across till you get to the tip. Pick it up off of it, flip it over, and then you will repeat.
Same thing. Okay.
Same thing. We'll just start by doing that one time on each side, and then we'll look to see if we need to do it anymore.
Okay.
All right. So whoever wants to start us off, come on. That looks good. Flip it. All right, let's check it out. So, this little line you see right here, that's your burr.
Okay.
You can actually kind of feel it.
Yeah.
All right, but you just see how it's not here, and it's not up here. We're just missing that area.
Okay.
So just need to do a little bit more. But now we can clearly see that it goes all the way across.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking for.
Okay.
So we're going with stuff.
And that's all it
That's it.
takes, huh?
That's all it takes. Okay. You're just going to put your thumb on top of that. Angle it down just a little bit. There you go. Okay. You're going to flip it. Angle it back. A little more. All right. Let's see it.
Good. Better than me.
Just a little bit right there.
Nice.
Well, I learned from you. I might not have done that if I hadn't seen what he said about yours.
Okay.
Perfect.
So that gets us started.
Mm-hmm.
So now we can go to our next one, which is our 220 grit belt. And so pretty much everything just remains the same as what we just did. So you're gonna do the same angle, same motion.
Okay.
What we're gonna do now is we're gonna do it 3 times on each side.
Okay.
All right. So you can do all 3 on one side. Boom, boom, boom. Flip it over. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
All right.
Same angle.
Same angle.
Is that good?
Yep. That's good. That's it.
All right.
Very nice.
Good job, hon.
So you can definitely still see the burr on there, which
Yep.
is the way that it's supposed to be. All right. Kind of when you're doing the polishing like this, you're just kind of just trusting that something's happening. You can't really visually see anything.
So much easier to replace the
Oh, then the one we have. It's
What's it-
complicated
oh,
yeah.
to
Yeah.
replace
Swap the belts out?
yeah,
Yeah,
swap the belt.
swap the
It's
belts
like you
out
have to
are
take off this little
complex.
piece and
We have to
take off
twist off two
screws.
things.
Oh yeah,
Take
no,
off-
this one gone.
Yeah, that makes it nice.
So this is the 400. Same thing, 3 on each side.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Now to polish.
And then left hand, this side feels funky to me.
It's always gonna. I
If you're
mean,
right-handed
that
or
just takes a long
left-handed,
time to
that's
figure out how to
yeah.
make those angles work for you.
Yeah.
So we're using the buffing wheel now. Like I said, this is doing a little bit more polishing, but it's gonna
Yes.
get rid of the burr. All right? Because right now, if you feel of it, I mean, it actually will feel pretty dull.
Mm-hmm.
That's just because that burr is stuck on there.
Yeah.
Now I am gonna help y'all with this part as well. It's a tricky angle, especially because it's on a wheel. Just kind of changes things up. This just helps to kind of clean the wheels off, and then you can put more of this compound on here, which is the thing that's actually doing the cutting.
Yeah, I've got maybe like 3 different sets of it.
Yeah, you might have like a medium fine, super fine.
Yeah.
You know. Now it feels a lot better now that that little burr is gone.
Oh, yeah, I can feel the difference.
In this method of sharpening still takes, of course, some practice, because although it is a little easier and a little quicker, still one wrong movement or wrong angle and it can completely kind of screw everything up.
So how would you suggest as far as belt sanding for the bevel if we didn't do the bevel the way that we do it today?
Yeah, so I was kind of showing you about how those grinders, they
Yeah.
pivot.
Correct, right.
So if you can get some kind of belt sander that does pivot,
Yeah.
or even if it doesn't, here, let's hold on to that. There are some other jigs that you could get.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is being able to have some sort of table that could sit right
Kind
here.
of stabilize it.
Yeah, to stabilize it. So there's a table that could be sat there, and they do make jigs. You're talking about that block that you can get that you could set the angle on. As long as this is a 90-degree position, if you've got something that you could clamp the knife to and angle it, then that would help you to grind your bevel.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would just be freehanding, trying to get the correct angle on each side as you're.
So of course,
with the
having
bevel,
a jig is going to keep things a lot more consistent.
Yeah.
You know, perfect to a degree. So it's great, especially when you're first learning. But what you kind of find out is every different style of knife you make is a different angle, different bevel, different configuration. Okay, so they're all different, and that doesn't mean that the same jig works for every single knife.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right? So it can complicate things, especially if you decide you want to make a sword or an axe or something like that. Everything kind of changes. So what I personally recommend is, yes, start with a jig because it's kind of your only option. The jig is going to work really well on grits like a 36 grit and a 60, but once you start getting up to maybe like a 120 and a 220, if you kind of want to polish that bevel, like we just finished our bevels off with a 36. It looks fine, but in most cases, you'd rather take it up to a pretty nice finish. It'll really struggle with those finer belts because these belts are a lot more forgiving. They're a lot thicker and they can kind of conform to what you're doing versus these. They're so much thinner, right? So once you've kind of already got this bevel set in place, now it's a lot easier for you to try to come in here and grind that bevel because you've already got a relatively flat spot that you could just sit that against to help learn how to hold and manage that angle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So you use that jig to kind of get you primarily there.
Yeah.
Because what's so difficult about grinding these bevels at first is those first couple passes, that bevel's super small.
Yeah.
So you don't really have any sort of reference as to what it should feel like to keep it there. You just have to be
Right.
really steady.
Yeah.
But now there's a really good reference there to hold that onto and try to learn how to drag that across
feels.
consistently.
Gotcha.
Right?
That's a good idea.
So now it's kind of preparing you a little bit for freehanding, and then you're going to get to a point where you're like, I'm pretty good at keeping this angle. I'm just going to start practicing doing it from scratch that way.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't take that long to grind a bevel with a jig. I can grind one a lot faster.